on the seriousness of this course, the content of this meeting is being sent to one or more apps. Well, I don't I know that in the faculty, if the class is large, they also, escalate this one to YouTube so that at least many more people can be part of it. But since we are 200 at most, so either way. So that is that. So if we are using a semester to cover all of what I've said, you can just imagine that we can only do so much. And that is why we are very, very intentional in terms of the topics we have picked in such a way that we can at least introduce you well enough to follow or to understand the nature of business law, and then have some knowledge, ideas, so that when issues of businesses come, then at least you know enough first aid to be able to contact those experts who can assist you in one way or another. That is how we are looking at this. And it is also as well that in our own right, this is an adult class. Most of us have been around for quite some time. Some of us are men or women of business, either in their capacity as director or as managers, as owners of business, as partners, and stuff like this. And also, as business people, sole proprietorship, and all of it. So there's diversity. I mean, I want to say that there's a possibility of diversity in the class. And what that brings to the table is a wealth of experiences. So people have experiences, they've, and mostly, even when we don't own business, we still do business with other people. Most of us, I mean, our shareholders, our partners, with others. And we argue virtually every day over, the course of our interaction or relationships with people. So that is what this is about, the business part of this program. And what we intend to do, one, is to make it clear to you that when you are talking about business law, we divide it mainly into the policies, the regulations, what kind of laws, regulate businesses, and what type of businesses do these laws regulate, and how do you, as an outsider, at least have some touching, some touching ideas, I mean, about these laws. We try as much as possible to take you through the best we can, and that is one part. Then again, there's what we call the vehicles through which businesses are conducted. These are people who want to own business, who want to manage business, either alone or in conjunction with other people, or in a particular format. So we'll go through subjects like the types of vehicle through which we can do business. And of course, there are relative importance one to the other. We are going to take ourselves through all of this. And then which one would you really prefer, given your circumstances? You can do well in any business. What is important is better management or good management. So so long as you can have your positives more than the negatives in terms of profit and losses. Of course, you break even and of course have extras. Then your business is good. That is just what it is at a very primary level. Okay, so we will be discussing concepts like sole proprietorship. We have someone who wants to do it all alone. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages of it? There's nothing wrong in doing your business alone. You don't need any other person in your business. Why is it often allowed or even sometimes advisable to do it? And then we look at the other side of the coin. Are there disadvantages? in this. So we balance it up that way. We look at the pros and then we look at the cons. So that is one. Then partnership is also a vehicle through which, and of course, most of us understand partnership, in life, you know, at the social end, most of us who are married, we have partners, and how did you get, to become partner with with your spouse? You interact, you get to know one another. You get to feel out the fact that, okay, the character is okay, the comportment is okay, all other things are equal, and I mean, we can do this. And then you negotiate. And above all, some of us in partnership, that is marriage partnership, we have prenuptial agreement. You put stuff in writing so that your expectations are defined. You don't want surprises. You address your needs, he addresses his own needs, and it is signed and it is kept away until there is a need to enforce it. It is like that. And someone in which you want to, with whom you want to be a partner, you got to find out, you got to speak your mind out, your priorities, your do's and don'ts. If you keep quiet, as many of us do, and it is late, then you get surprises. And just as you are, discovering, you are patient. So you look at temperaments, you look at propensities, the kind of character and all of those things. Is it trustworthy? How is it with money? Is it somebody that can, that saves, or just or someone that spends a whole lot without regard? Those are matters. It is similar in business, particularly when you are going into partnership business with other people. Hey, those ones are even worse because money is involved. The other one, maybe it is not all about money. Sometimes it's just about family. You just want to keep family well. But when it is in partnership for money, for profit, uh-huh, then the dynamics will change, but the process is the same. You must know your partner. You must be able, because partnership is a business of trust and confidence. Can you repose confidence in him? And you trust this person? Because as partners, there is a status. You guys have one to the other, and those status makes things you do bind one another. So someone that is going to, bind you by his own conduct, you must know. So you ask yourself again, are there advantages to running business in partnership with someone? Of course, there are words, there are advantages. Are there disadvantages? Yes, also, there are disadvantages. So then the question is that if you can isolate the do's and the don'ts, the advantages and the disadvantages, then because partnership is built on agreement, then you can consciously now address through the medium of negotiation some of the concerns that are likely to emerge, and then so you can address those things, consciously by way of agreeing to those terms, resolving issues, and then getting to know, to build confidence, and then you sit up with your wide open, with your eyes open. That is that. Now, sole proprietor, we have talked about that. It is good, it may be bad, because you're all alone. But who says you can't do it all alone? Sometimes it's just okay to talk to someone in business, because you can never, there's what you call bonded rationality. I don't know whether in the course of your career you understand, you have come across that concept of bonded, rationality or asymmetric information, where you don't have all the information you need to make decisions. And if you're not going to make decisions, then there has to be ways through which, what is unknown can be addressed before they become known. So you must think ahead and make provisions for those things so that at least you can, hedge against their occurrences and end up reducing the risk. Because it's about addressing the riskiness of your relationship in partnership. But if you are a sole proprietor, perhaps maybe you are your own risk, really. But then you are dealing with other people. It puts them on notice about you. Being alone as a man or lady in business, what danger may you cause the public that may be dealing with you? So, or what can you? Then you are on your own. But what is good is that, and you have unlimited liability status because you are your business is you. So, if you cannot pay your creditors, they can look into your personal estate. They can look into those things, and so you can start hiding your property. But that is the danger. When you are hiding properties, then there is a cost to discovering it, and sometimes it is enormous. So people may want to deal with people with other systems or other vehicles that reduces the cost of relationship in business. And as for the partners, you have partnership with people. Again, partners have unlimited liability, and when you are not alone, enjoying all the benefits of the money, and you are sharing it, then the human propensity kicks in, so that you have partners who is hiding assets from you, because there is a motivation for partners to hide assets because you don't want your other partner to know how rich you are, the extent of your wealth, so that when problems start, they can poke your estate to a point the others have been hidden. So there is also the motivation on the part of your other partners to start digging, so they know what actually you are worth and whether you are hiding or they are not. You are not. They won't tell you. Some partners may not know this one, so if they don't, fine. But if you have partners that are well advised and implications are laid on the table, then you know what you are up and against. So move away from partnership to, and of course, for those who want to enjoy limited liability in partnership, that is not possible. For those who want to have the status of incorporation as even as a sole proprietor, that is not, it's now possible. For those who wants to now, be a member in a company, to join others, venture capitalists to form a company, to get things done, set up a business and all that. Yes, that is also possible. You incorporate a company now, minimum of two, and you can take it from, you can start small and grow big. Today you are a private company, tomorrow you are a public company, and it's on the capital market and monies are coming in. You raise more money, the cost of capital for you is low, and and, and then you can also diversify your investment and stuff like this. So that is all part of what we are going to be looking at. These vehicles, the relative importance of it. What how what do you think about when you are thinking business, and when you are managing, masters in business administration, when you are administering business, some of these issues we are talking about also, will creep up for you to address. That's why it is important that we focus on these things. Now, um, then you look at the institutions, that is the laws that regulate businesses. We have laws that regulate businesses. There are laws, for instance, if you are going to form a company, there are some laws you must comply with, and that is the Companies and Allied Matters Act. And the current law is 2020. If you want to form a limited liability company, there is also a provision within the CAMA or the Companies Allied Matters Act that also gives you the framework for partnerships, for limited liability partner, because it can, partnership now can be incorporated to have, you know, separate entity from the partners and all of those. So we'll discuss, what people need to do. If they are dealing with you as a limited liability partnership, or as an unlimited one, because when those kind of situations crop up, the public that are dealing with you also have to brace up and know what they need to do so that they can be on the same page with you legally. It's very, very important. So we look at these laws, and so if you are going to be in partnership, understanding those laws help you. And in particular, what I want all of us to recognize that when you are dealing with laws that regulate relationships, there is a set of languages that those legislation will speak, because those that are regulating our relationships are away in Abuja or in the state capital, and they are legislating for how we negotiate, how we relate. Most time they recognize also that it is a Herculean task for them to discharge. So therefore, they have a blend, a blended, provisions that constitute the legislation. So there are usually provision types in all legislation that regulate interactions, business interactions, private interactions, and all of that. So it is the extent to which you know that will help you legally, to be in a good state with the people you are dealing with. And that kind of awareness helps. The awareness of these provision types helps. You will find them in Companies and Allied Matters Act. You will find them in Partnership Act. You will find them in Sale of Goods Act. They are the same, types of provisions, and they play the same role. The question is that how much of these provision types do you know? What is the advantage of knowing them? What is the disadvantages of not knowing them? When can they be deployed for your own benefits? These are the things, and you have to be an insider, as lawyers, to understand all of this. But then, now that you are with us as as friends of the law faculty, they offering a business law, and you have interaction with us, then we open or lift up some of the scale in your eyes so that you can also see some of the things we see. And then once you know, then at least you can run to those who can better help, so that when agreement, is being made, they can take instructions on key aspects of what is good for you, which you may not know all. And also, they can also warn you about what is forthcoming in this one you are entering into and all of that. So that we're also going to do. We're also going to, go through so that at least it forms create some template of knowledge for you, that may stay with you for some time before you start forgetting about law, when you keep making money in business. Because then when the money is there, then you can get lawyers, who now as your paid employee or paid professional to provide advice, then you'll be okay. That is what those who can afford would do. And that is what, but you have to, but going through this kind of process makes you know what you ought to know, that you don't know enough to meet those who know more than you do to advise you appropriately. So that is that one. Then concepts in business that are very functional. Agency is a very important concept in business, agency. And I'm sure for those of us who have moved far who are fine into businesses, you would have encountered, that concept of agency, or you might have also lived that kind of life, interacted with agents, deployed agency, that concept, and then get things going for you. Agency is so important in business law, but it's not just in business law that agency is important. There is, a wealth of implications for the concept of agency, and therefore it is important you know. Now, agency arises when someone who has the capacity to do something for himself or herself deploys another person to do those things for him. And in so doing, empowers that other person to create a legal relationship between him or her and a third party unknown. And when that is done, it binds. So you are the principal using an agent. The person you are using is your agent. You confer powers or authority on the agent to do some stuff for you. You can, if you are managing your property, for instance, you give what you call power of attorney, to someone. It's agency relationships. You define the roles he has, the powers that you want to confer, and then you circumscribe, that power, and you create a cage like so that he does not go beyond what so. And of course, you all are afforded by sole agency. Sometimes all of these new innovations are brought. You have people who who are smart enough quickly to find a business opportunity. They contract or contact the manufacturers. Your product, we want to be the sole agent here distributing it in our country. There's market and all of that. And you have, your agreement signed that you just to assure yourself that at least you have a comfortable relationship that is stable. Okay. So that is one part of it. But then at the larger scale, when you look around, agency is about everybody. The country operates on agency concept. Our president is our agent. Our lawmakers they are our agent. We voted them into office. We can vote them out of the office. It's easy to understand that way. Voting them in and out is more difficult, but conceptually it is very easy to understand. But they are indeed our agent, and the company or the country is running on agency. That is to show you, how rampant agency is and the value that is attachable to that concept. Okay, so when you look at the political system and you realize that the governors they are the people's agent, the lawmakers are the houses of assembly or the National Assembly, the same. The civil servants, they are agents, they are working for government. Some of them are empowered to sign, contracts to negotiate contracts and all of those. I remember, I don't know whether you still remember the case of P&ID, P&ID and versus Nigeria, those companies that took us to a court of arbitration and won, an award of first of all 6 or 9 billion, and then later it became $11 billion. And then Nigeria woke up and started fighting from behind. Luckily, we were able to set aside that award. Otherwise, that would be a burden we will be carrying in addition to the loans that we are, that we have every now and then. So that is what agents do sometimes badly. Those who negotiated that contract are our agents. They work for government and they have the power to sign those agreements. They sign them. So this is where agent creates problems. If agents are not properly monitored, if agents are not properly remunerated or motivated, they create a lot of cost to your business. So We have agents at home, domestic agents. They cook our soup all of the time. They wash our clothes. Do you motivate your agents? Do you treat them badly? If you are treating your agent badly and they're in your home doing stuff for you, then you've got it coming. They are the one to run up and down to cook when you serve them that food. Sometimes in some homes they don't even eat the cook. The food they cook, they have another separate, different from the one Oga and Madam will eat. But yet they cook all of these things. You think that you know those soups are safe. They are not. They will tidy of affairs when you are gone to work. Okay. So motivation is key to every agency relationship because all agents, as good as the context, that particular concept is, they create cost. They create cost. So you are the one to force them in, to invest in bonding cost. So you are the one to force them to create bonding cost. You are the one to make them see you as themselves so they can align your interests with their own. That is the job of a principal. If you treat your agent properly, you will get good reward. If you pay them very well, you will get. The problem we are facing in Nigeria is because of the failure of agency relationships. We refuse to understand the dynamics of it. We assume a whole lot that you are the one paying them, so regardless of what you pay, and then where's the work? They should be grateful. It doesn't work that way. Nigeria had worked. All these police officers that are killing everybody or killing people, over 200 naira, is because of failures of agency. They're hungry, they have families, they are badly paid. They don't even respect their work. They are unhappy and they carry guns. And you want to argue with them, you know. But if they are well properly paid, they are properly paid, they are happy, they are helpful, they will be helpful to the public. They won't be our enemy. But because there is no motivation, there is a poor pay, and so they are going to get the money anyways. You talk about civil servants, how much would they pay? They stay there for so many years, 30, 35 years. By the time they are leaving the place, they don't even have a house over their family or their head. In the days when nobody now goes to public school, everybody is taking children to private school. How do they do it as agent? They have to steal. It's compulsory because they also want to taste some of these good lives that the guys do. So agency in business is critical. And it's a concept that when you deploy it, you can, as a sole ownership or sole proprietor, when you deploy agency, you can be in 5 places at the same time, just monitoring and just reaping rewards, checking about information, follow up and stuff, more instruction, and all you need to do is to pay well, be sensitive to their needs, harmonize your interests with their own, and then you get the reward. It is a concept in business, it's a concept, even socially. It's also a concept at the political level, but more so as it relates to our own, learning in business. So we're going to also do we're also going to cover all of these aspects, however briefly, at least put some voice to it, and then this is where experiences are good. You have been out there, you have experiences. Perhaps you can discuss some of your experiences when we start all of this talk, some of these topics. Bring your experiences to the table, ask questions, and then we will see contributions from the class. It's a very rich class, a class of 144. We can't find better experiences than a pool of the people we have here. So If you are willing to talk, we will take you to what ours is just to open your eyes, a little bit wider than they are open. So, in the aspect of business law, and then you can take it away from there. Okay, so then we then come to a very critical aspect of business law, and that is contracting, negotiation. There is no business that is not negotiated. It's never muted, except in certain circumstances. You have to contract, you have to negotiate. Negotiation is at the heart of business because it's only when you negotiate you can say you are entering into a contract that you can sign. So what do you negotiate when you are contracting? It depends on the circumstances, on the context. Context matters. What are you negotiating around? What is at the heart of your contract? So that will shape your negotiation, the direction. It's going to shape it. So that is also very important, because some of us, so all of the elements, in a very light way, we discuss it, but what exactly it is. And remember that, when you are able to contract very well, then you are in a better state. So then you ask about the formalities. In what form does a contract take? Contract can be oral. We talk to each other, we agree, we nod, everything's okay. Sometimes, there is an action on my part and within a particular context, and then you respond, and then before you know it, we are in contract. That is also possible. But more importantly, a contract can also be in writing. And then it can be in writing. It can be inferred from conduct, of the parties. It can be oral contract. It can be inferred, and it can also be in writing. And then we point out the fact that there are some aspects of contracts that must be in writing, for it to be enforced. And so we highlight all of those so that you can keep that as you move about your programs or your activities. So then we then understand, then when we ask the practical question, of all the forms that there are, which one is more efficient? I mean, more efficient, because efficiency is what you should be looking at. And that is the practical aspect of it that, that provides value, or, under cost. So if we have about 10 ways to contract, what's the most efficient of these ways? Because that is what, and why is it so? So again, we discuss all of that. And then, given, the developments out there, it is very important to be able to conceive business also and finalize it. You know, although you don't have all the paraphernalia of an office, of equipment, and all of those things, it is possible. That is absolutely possible. And because it is possible, it makes, engaging in business far, far cheaper. For instance, I'm sure you are aware about equipment leasing. You're a photographer, and you are good in it, and that is your area, but you don't have the sharp, cameras that you need. You are in the, entertainment industry. You don't have, all of the equipment that will give you good production. You don't have to have all of this. You can, you know, uh, go for a lease of them, equipment leasing, and then, you agree on the rent you pay for a particular period. You return it, those equipment, you pay your rent. The 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 lessor that's leasing those equipment is has benefited. Even you, the lessee, also have taken value, and then you are good to go. So that is how these things work. And of course, we we'll try as much as possible to look at the structure of a public-private partnership, how it is in real life situation, and what issues often come up. All of these contracts are technical contracts, but they are also defined by negotiation. So the quality, the sources of relationship in the PPP comes down to the quality of negotiation. So those awareness, of course, of the concept, what does it even mean? You say PPP, you are going to PPP, what does it mean? So once you understand, what are you supposed to be looking at? What role can you play? Who is your counterparty, with whom you are playing these roles? Those are things that we need to know. And of course, we'll get into details of all of these things, the details of contract, the details of sale of goods. You buy and sell, there's a love for it, and then those aspects could be taught. I guess these are the things we would do. There are things we would do, and at the end of the day, when the universities think we are comfortable, with us, then they'll be reminding us about the examinations, and then we do our best. And once the exam comes and it is done, we send reports to the faculty or the program director. And then we are functus officio. Our job is done. So the memory is what is left of interaction, of teaching, and all of that. So that's what it is. So this is just about the course, and I think it's imperative to bring it close to you, so that going forward, from next week, we will be unpacking these subjects or these areas I've touched more fairly more seriously, and then hoping that we will have interactive sections. It's better if where you, because of the level at which you are. So I expect also contributions, participation. Participation is key. If you don't participate, you wouldn't know how really good you are standing, and what else do you need to do to even stand firmer? I mean, I'm on the spot you are standing. So it's very important to participate. When you participate, you create confidence, to talk, and everybody here, and your classmates, as people in your set. So it's a family, and that should make it much easier for you to participate indeed. So for me, that is just it. We open this session now. In case of questions, in case of clarifications, in case of contributions, or in all the areas I've gone to, some areas. If you have questions to ask, please do. Don't hesitate. And then from there, I will respond. Others will have opportunity. Just make your questions short. Your name we can see. So a self-introduction is self-introducing through this medium. So that is just what it is. So I want to hear. Yeah, someone is asking me a question. Is talking about PPP. I would love to hear your voice. As you had mine, talk to me, just as I expect all of us to participate. Imagine if all I do is just to type to you and type the next sentence. It's not going to work. So, but that's okay. You can add the question again. So, the line is open.
Good evening.
Just
Yeah, good evening,
okay.
Prof. Yes, sir.
Joachim, I can see your name. So, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Prof. Thank you so much for the introduction and then for giving us a little background of what the course is all about. In the course of the lecture, you made mention of structure of PPP. I didn't really get the full meaning of that PPP and then their role in the corporate business. I don't know if you can
Okay.
help us throw more light on it, sir.
Oh,
Thank you.
sure. Just to quickly, I'm not going to go deep into it right now, but because I'm going to come into it. But what it simply means, PPP, triple P, public-private partnership. That is, you have public is about government, private is about entrepreneurs. Okay, and the partnership in it is that you are blending private investors with government that has responsibility to deliver some projects to the people without money, without the capacity, to fund or even to manage, because those are the problems of government. They don't have enough money, they don't have the necessary expertise. So when they do projects in good faith, but within few periods, these projects fail. So the device of PPP is such that those private entrepreneurs have the money, or at least they can go to the market, get money, loan to develop a project that they believe, having spoken with government or negotiated with government, that will be of benefit to the people. So they help government address the needs of the people that ordinarily without them, the government would have had to do so. So I would, these two gates, particularly the Lekki two gate, is one good example. It's a product of PPP. Now, that gate is there, and the responsibility will be designed. So they will come, they will discuss with government as a strategic partner that they are going to do this road from this point to Ekpe, and we are going to tow it. And this is the amount of money it's going to cost us. And this is the design of what we want to do. This is the quality that we want to give. Because government also have expertise. They will bring their own people as well. Costing experts, they will cost the project. They will look at their drawings. They look at this thing. And they also want to look at the recovery period. You are going to spend, say, 10 billion. How long are you going? Will it take you to recover? Because they will let the government know that we don't need your money. When we invest this money, we will do it, and then from there we start recovering our money. And we are looking at about 25 years. We should be able to recover our money and the profit, and then that project will be yours forever. Now, government will say, okay, um, let us ascertain the cost profile first, because the propensity is that the private partner will increase the cost. The government will review it, they can bring it down. Then they ask them, okay, you say you are going to use 20 years. What is the basis? What is the traffic profile, that you have been able to put together? The estimates, because it depends on the market, those who are using, that particular tool, So that gate. So if the government realizes that it's been exaggerated, that this thing can be, that they can recoup their money within 10 years, they also win. Maybe at the end of the day, instead of 10 or instead of 20, it comes to about 12 or 15. Everybody is happy. And then they sign up for it. But then that is the concept. Now, for it to start, they need to sit down and agree on every aspect of this project, about the design, about the timeline, about the number of years to recover money, about even sometimes how much they're going to be charging the people, about where there are problems, of implementation. What are the remedies, where there are breaches? That is what the PPP is about. It's about private people helping, working with government without government bringing in money, yet to deliver public utility and then for the benefit of the people. But because they are also business people, they are looking forward towards making profit. So they will define, how their money and profit will be made, and it should be acceptable to government. That is how these things work. It has worked very well in other places. The Lekki toll gate was working until we ran into the 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 SARS, and then it became a problem and it was suspended. So that is how it is. Okay. So I hope at least I've said a bit, to whet your appetite so that when we get there, we'll be able to speak a little bit more. And then those who have some specific interest in this also will come around and make some contributions. Okay? Yes, that is it. What is that?
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yes, Maria. Maria, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Okay, I saw your name on the screen, so I thought you wanted to speak.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Okay. Okay. All right. So any other questions? Any other contribution? So that, as I said, it's just for us to have an idea of what we are going to be looking at. So, but I want to appeal to you. Don't be shy to talk. Don't be shy to make mistakes. It's always very important. And I'm sure the class captain also, I'm sure you know how to collate the attendance, right? For your class.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so when you do that, you send it to me. We also put it in a file for stream 3.
Okay, sir. I dropped the link on the chat box already, so they can fill from there.
Huh?
The link to the attendance is on the chat box.
Okay. Okay. Have you sent it to my WhatsApp?
Once everybody has finished filling, I'll send the
Okay.
list to you.
Okay. Oh yes, you just compile it. Okay. It's all right. So I believe that maybe you are still shy, maybe because you guys are hearing my voice for the first time. You will hear it again, some other time. So if we don't have any person, that is willing to speak to us today, I will let it go. So I'll wait until you are done with your link and the compilation of attendance. In the absence of any other contributions, I will say good night to everyone. Well, I'm hoping to meet you next week. I guess tomorrow is another stream, maybe stream 2 or stream 1, till Friday. Okay. So good night, everybody.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good
Good
night,
night,
sir.
sir.
Nice,
Good
sir.
night,
Good night,
sir.
sir.
Oh, yeah.
Good
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night, Prof.
Good evening. If you need the recording of this class, so you can just reach out to me. I'll just send it to you through mail.
It's not reaching out to.
All right.
Can you share
You
me?
need to, yeah. I will send the recording of the class.
One. Thank you.
Once this thing, I'll send it before you get it before 1 or before 10. You guys will get the recording of the class.
All
The
right,
record,
thank you.
Are you
the
sending
recording
it to
and the
our email
transcribed version.
or
The recording and the transcribed version of everything that Prof was saying, you get it.
Thank you, Mr.
on
President.
stream 3? On stream
Yeah.
3 group.
Yes, now you get it. You get
Okay,
you
thank you.
get it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Platform.
Thank you,
Thank you
darling.
for you too.
Thank you. Good night. Oh boy, this kata no go kill me.